Okay, good morning. It's Monday morning, and a couple of things. Oh, I got breakfast on my shirt. A couple of things. So, I wanted to just talk about the spiritual aspect of depression management, which I think is a part of it. I mean, I wish it wasn't, because I would love, again, for it to have simple answers. Answers that are like, fall only in the medical world. But I really do think that, sorry, I should have started this video after I backed out of my driveway. I really do think that your spiritual health or your spiritual sickness contributes to your depression. And I'm atheist. I mean, I fall under the category of atheism. I suppose that might be like a triggering word to a lot of people. But I was raised in a religion where I recognize that it really is a helpful thing for a lot of humans to, understand, process, live through the human existence. And it just, for me, it wasn't, as a female being raised in it was the evangelical church, I had no interest in getting married or being a mother until my late 30s. So that really was like where my worth, I was taught that my worth comes from, like being a good girl, and then as an adult, you're a wife and a mother. And my mom is such a badass. She worked full time my entire childhood. She got her master's degree, and she's very well respected in the public school system in where I'm from. And so I saw that. My dad always worked as well, but the message still got through that was where my worth was, and being a hard worker, and all the traditional things. It's not just in religion, it's in society too, but it was really heavy in religion. So it really, that and a few other things, I wish I could give my parents the gift of believing what they taught me, what they really earnestly want me to believe, because they do believe that that's how you get to heaven and you spend eternity with your family there, or you don't. And so that's heartbreaking. That's probably the thing that I hate the most about it, is I cannot give that to my parents, because I just cannot force myself to buy into some of the literal aspects of impossible things. A man literally rising from the dead, a human literally born to a virgin. I think metaphorically I can pull a lot from a lot of stories, but all of that, and the fact that the messaging of all of my sins, all of my shortcomings, I was really sensitive to that, being born with sin, being born imperfect, to the point that it's scapegoated onto a perfect human being thousands of years ago that has to die, is murdered in a brutal way for how much of a piece of a shit I am. That's hard. I can't, I was really sensitive to that as a kid, and I really internalized that message of okay, I am imperfect and like worthy of someone being murdered on my behalf. And that did not fuel a lot of confidence. And so deconstructing that was just, I mean, one of the worst experiences in my life. I mean, I think it's made me really strong on this side of it. Internally, it's made me really validate my perspective, my intuition on things, not just religion, but to really check in with myself on a lot of stuff. Like, is this what I actually think and believe and want, and what my life experiences tell me? But the deconstruction of a religion, and I live in Salt Lake City, and it's funny that I landed here because I live around a lot of people that have deconstructed the LDS religion, which I think is like kind of my upbringing on steroids from what I'm learning about it. And so there's a lot of people that have gone through that really unique experience of like deconstructing something that impacts your everyday life and threatens your relationships with your community and your family. And that is so hard. I mean, it's still a wedge in my family. It's still a wedge in my husband's family, which is mostly LDS practicing, and my husband has left the LDS church. So it's a hard thing, even when your family is accepting and loving and, you know, still like keeps you around, basically. But just the initial deconstruction of that, it's an identity crisis, it's a paradigm shift in your entire world, and it's really, really hard to summarize it in a really lame way. But now in my life, I recognize there's a lot that was good in the religion. A lot of tools and community and rituals and just that aspect of like being inspired and awestruck by things. And so my religion now is nature. I feel so grounded. I feel like it's a perspective, you know, zoom out for me anytime I'm in nature. So my husband and I and a good friend of ours went camping this weekend, and I feel great. I feel so rejuvenated, and it was like a spiritual practice that I needed. Conversation around a campfire, hiking, and just being quiet and watching the stars, waking up to go pee outside and just staring at the stars, watching shooting stars, and just being in that where the pace of everything just slows down. It's just so important for me to take care of my spiritual health in that way. And additionally, we, on the note of like movement as an antidote to depression, we went on an epic hike. It was so cool. We went to, and it's in southern Utah, it's called Cosmic Ashtray. It was so cool. I mean, it was just like surprisingly awe-inspiring. Like I was just, and then just conversations around like the water and the wind and how it was created. Like just so, I don't know, like the scale of it is so unbelievable. And it's created by these little persistent acts of nature, wind and water and whatever else. I don't know. I wish I knew more about geology. It was just wonderful. And now I'm getting to the gym. I got to the gym twice last week. I went on an epic hike over the weekend, and it's Monday and I'm at the gym. And so I'm feeling really good. And I'm just thinking, like, 2 weeks ago, it was not possible for me to do this. It was not possible for me to get out of bed and go to the gym. And I already took my dog for a walk. Like, I'm just saying, like, the little shit matters. All the little things matter. And I don't think we ever feel the progress necessarily, which is part of why I'm doing these videos, so I can look back and just be like, yeah, I am making progress. It's like journaling, you know? And you look back and you're like, oh yeah, I was there and now I'm here. And so I just wanted to say that little stuff adds up and you don't even notice it. Just like that cosmic ashtray in southern Utah. And, yeah, so that's a couple of thoughts about movement, about taking care of your spiritual health, whatever that means for you. And I would love to hear other people's, religious people included, like, how do you take care of your spiritual health? What helps you combat nihilism and depression? Okay, have a wonderful Monday.